What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we're going to be doing something a little different today. I was kind of thinking about, instead of doing Tech Tip Tuesday every Tuesday, let's do a Tech Tip Tuesday and a How To Tuesday and just kind of mix it up and have some variety on the channel every single Tuesday. This week I'm going to do a video on how to stack dirt on trail jumps. These trails out here haven't really been worked on that much in the past 5 or 6 years. I've slowly been coming out here and fixing stuff, but today I'm gonna do a video and restack the dirt on this landing right here. This carpet has been on the landing for, I'd say, maybe 5 or 6 years, so we're gonna uncover it and see what it looks like and restack some dirt. Alright, so we got the carpet pulled off. We just got a bunch of rain yesterday, but with that carpet being on it, it's still pretty dry, so we're gonna have to find some water somewhere to sprinkle on that before we start stacking up the dirt. But remember I was telling you guys that these carpets have been on here for so long? I took the carpet off and it still looks like there's a carpet on it. That just shows you how long these carpets have been on here, and then just over time with all the rain and stuff, all the side dirt washed away and that dirt, you know, stayed underneath. All right, around the back side right here, you guys can see the carpet was up at the top, so it's pretty dry up there. And then right here you have a nice little trail where the water has just come down and made a little trench over time. This landing could fall down at any time. I mean, look at that. You can just see it moving around, and all this stuff is dry. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to knock down all this really loose dry stuff, wet it down a little bit, and then pick up all the wet stuff that's at the bottom and restack it up and make it nice and square. So now that I have that old loose dirt kind of pulled down a little bit, I watered it. Now you're probably wondering how I'm gonna stack that dirt and make it stick. So you wanna water this. Don't get it too muddy because then it'll just slide off like if it were dry. Get it nice and damp. If you overwater it, let it sit for a few minutes, and make sure the dirt at the bottom is nice and moist too. When you throw it up here to stack it, you want it to stick. And if you're having a hard time getting this to stick, up here you can kind of see it's at like a concave where the top sticks out further than right below it. So there's a trick that you can scoop up this dirt, throw it, and immediately pack it, and it'll stay, and I'll show you that. So you want to be really quick with this. Get yourself a nice scoop of dirt, throw it, and immediately pack it. That one wasn't a very good one, so let's try it again. Just like that. You gotta be quick. You gotta throw it up there nice and hard so it sticks, and then pack it. Alright, so now that you have the back restacked, it's nice and packed in. Now what you want to do, if you're like me, you like a nice squared off jump. So in order to achieve that, you have to basically overbuild the tops and corners, and then you can pack it, and then you can shave whatever excess off that you don't want, and that's how you get those nice crisp corners. There's a trick on how to stack dirt without throwing it up there and it all just crumbling down, and I'll show you that now. So basically what you want to do is get a nice full shovel of dirt, throw it up, and throw it upside down like this. It's kind of a technique. You might throw the dirt off somewhere that you don't need it, but just give it a couple tries. It'll be way better than throwing the dirt and then a bunch of it coming back down. All right, so now the back is pretty much done. Now you can move to the sides. I'm not gonna show you the sides because the sides are basically the same as the back. You stack the dirt, you make it nice and vertical, make it nice and square on the sides. So I've pretty much already done that. So let's move on to the actual landing side and see what we got. So like I was saying earlier when we uncovered the carpet, it's pretty dry right there, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that new dirt to the very bottom, and then I'm gonna wet the top. Not too much, but if I do water it too much, then I'll let it sit for a couple minutes. And then once that's done, then we can scrape it a little bit, and then we can start throwing that new dirt up there, pack it in, and make it nice and smooth. So I put a pretty good amount of water on it right now, so I'm just letting it sit, but I realized that the little bit of dirt that I have right now in front isn't gonna be enough to fill in all the ruts and stuff up on the landing, because over the years, kids on pit bikes and stuff jumped them and made big old ruts and stuff like that. And then there's a bunch of washout at the bottom of the landing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the back of the landing in the middle of the jump, dig down a little bit, get some extra dirt, throw it all in the front of the landing, and then we can build it up and resurface it, make it nice and smooth, and then we can pack it in. So you guys have probably noticed that when I'm packing this, I'm packing and going upwards, and that's so when I pack it, I'm not pulling this dirt back down. So I'm packing it and everything's staying in place. And the trick to that is you want to be in this area when you pack it, because you don't want to go too far inwards, because then you'll dig into the dirt, but you also don't want to be too to the back of the shovel, because you'll get this nasty imprint and you'll just get a bunch of bumps in it. So practice and you'll get it. All right, so The landing is pretty much done. This is the end result of the backside. Before you get up to the next one, I pretty much hand packed all the main part, the very top all the way pretty much to the bottom. I'm not too worried about the very bottom right here because that's not where we land. We'll pretty much pack that in over time from just riding it. So I'm not really too concerned with that. Plus it'll take a lot longer and I'll get a lot more blisters. So that's the end product. Next thing to do is just ride it. If you're planning on riding it the same day, just go ahead and put the carpet back on it so you don't tear it up too bad. If you're not planning on riding it today, put some water on it, let the sun bake on it. I would ride it today, but like I said, we just got a bunch of rain last night, so everything else is pretty much muddy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a little bit of water on it, let it sit for a couple days, and I'll come back out and check it out. So that's a wrap on today's video on how to rebuild and restack an old landing. We didn't really build it from scratch, but we did reshape it and resurface it. So I guess how to restack and reshape an old landing, I don't know. It's all pretty much the same. It's just big old piles of dirt that you square out and you ride. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week.